The Creator provided natural methods to squash the coronavirus. You don't have to be wealthy to be able to defeat the virus. And science spotlights the Creator's provisions. We already know that the virus is a respiratory virus and can be spread by coughs and sneezes, and we need to wash our hands, wear our masks, avoid touching our face, drink plenty of water. Wearing the mask has become more and more mandatory in different places. It's good, it's helpful if done properly. But now we know more about this virus that's causing the pandemic. That's right. William Bryan, Department of Homeland Security Undersecretary for Science and Technology, spoke at the White House Coronavirus Task Force briefing yesterday, and he presented some information about the virus. It's helpful. Based on research and development over the last several months, as reported April 23, 2020, at the White House Coronavirus Task Force briefing, Bill Bryan shared game-changing information. Factors that increase the decay of the COVID-19 virus: increased temperature, increased humidity, increased sunlight. How do we know this? The measurement used to evaluate the rate of decay of the virus is referred to as half-life. Half-life equals the length of time for the life of the virus to be cut in half. COVID-19 virus has a half-life of 18 hours on hard surfaces at 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, 20% humidity, and 0 sunlight. So on hard surfaces, doorknobs, desktops, handrails, chairs, picnic tables, anything that's made out of metal, anything that's a hard surface, under these conditions has a half-life of 18 hours. Example: if we start with 1,000 particles of the COVID-19 virus on hard surfaces at 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 20% humidity and no sunlight, when 18 hours have passed, we can expect to find 500 particles. So we started with 1,000 particles of the coronavirus. And after 18 hours, under these conditions, it's down to 500 particles. The number of particles have been cut in half over the 18-hour period that we refer to as the half-life. And each 18 hours that passes cuts the number of active COVID-19 virus particles in half. When a second period of 18 hours has passed, the number of virus particles would be cut in half again, from 500 particles down to 250 particles, and so on. Now, what happens when changes are made in those conditions? We begin by talking about a humidity of 20%. What happens when that goes up to 80% and the temperature remains unchanged? It means we go from 18 hours down to 6 hours. Half-life. And if we add temperature up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, half-life drops to 1 hour. In other words, the virus dies at a higher rate by simply increasing temperature and humidity. Notice the half-life of the virus dropped from 18 hours to 6 hours by exposing the virus to higher temperature and humidity, and then down to 1 hour when the temperature was added. So humidity dropped it from 18 hours to 6 hours. Add temperature up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and half-life drops clear down to 1 hour. But notice what happens when sunlight is added. When sunlight is added, remember temperature of 70 to 75? We were at 6 hours. When we add summer sunlight, it drops down to 2 minutes. Solar light, summer sunshine. Same temperature, 70 to 75 degrees, humidity 80%, and it drops it down to 2 minutes. The half-life drops like a rock from 6 hours to 2 minutes when we add summer sunshine. UV, ultraviolet rays, has that much effect on the COVID-19 virus. And again, we're talking about on hard surfaces. What about aerosol in the air? COVID-19 virus has a half-life of about 60 minutes at 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit temperature and 20% humidity and zero sunlight when measured in the air. At the same temperature and humidity, add sunlight, and the half-life of the virus drops from about 60 minutes to about 1.5 minutes. That's what sunlight does. What have we learned from this information? On hard surfaces, the virus survives best indoors, in dry, low humidity. In saliva, the virus does not live as long as on hard surfaces. Moisture, humidity decays the life of the virus, and the virus dies quickest in direct sunlight. So, best practices. Heat and humidity suppress COVID-19, both indoors and outdoors. So, if you live in Florida and you have hot weather, but you're indoors and you're running the air conditioning, it doesn't help you one bit to be living in Florida. And the same is true anywhere else in the world. Move activity outside because sunlight impedes virus transmission. Open up the windows, shut off the air conditioning, let the heat in, let the humidity in. It's the enemy of the virus. Commonly available disinfectants are also helpful. Bleach and isopropyl alcohol work to kill the virus. Here's some additional information. So bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds, with no manipulation. If you rub it, and the virus dies then even faster. So bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds with no manipulation. But if you rub it, the virus will die even faster. Have you noticed this science-based information is consistent with the 8 natural laws of health we've been sharing for decades? That's right. Nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, trust in God. Nutrition. You hear the scientists talking about underlying conditions. Obviously, good nutrition. Reduce, eliminate animal products. Have a plant-based diet and you will receive benefits. Exercise, especially outdoors, opens up the lungs and gets fresh air. Water, 8 to 10 to 12 glasses drunk a day, and washing hands, face, many times. Sunlight. Sunlight kills the virus in 90 seconds, down to 30 seconds, depending on temperature and humidity. Temperance. Avoid smoking, avoid alcoholic beverages, avoid those damaging drugs. Air, fresh air, outside. It's good, it's clean, it's healthy. And rest builds the immunity. Trust in God is far, far better than sitting around in a cold, dark house and worrying. Give the worrying to the Lord. Trust in Him. The Creator provided natural methods to squash the coronavirus. And now the scientists have spotlighted what the Creator provided. You don't have to be wealthy to be healthy. Just practice common sense and the natural health laws.